R2 the dog. I ain't even been feeling like doing this. But let's get it. Yeah. It's probably the real level up. BIP Red Dog 1.
The O is for the 16 ounces that's in the whole pound. They really out here feeling my music. Shout out the whole town. K is for the killers I know who keep the 4 pound. You give an inch, he taking the mile like it was 4th down. The L is for the ladies for sure. I mean the real ones who out here working hard for they.
What's up, world? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy R2, and hey, man, we back with another banger. You know what I'm saying? So grab your popcorn and your cold drink and go on over there and hit that like button, and then hit that subscribe button. And after you do that, hit that bell. So when I drop these bangers, you be one of the first ones to put your eyes on it. You know what I'm talking about? What's good, y'all? What's happening? First and foremost, man, just like always, I want to thank the supporters, the people who pull up, take the time to watch the videos. Y'all the truth. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all on this content run. And, y'all the fuel to this fire right along with that bag. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, anytime we run content and we talk about criminal cases or anything like that that's unsolved or haven't seen their day in court, it's all alleged. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not doing the police job for them. You know what I'm saying? We just sticking to the content, running it how we get it. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, we got a wild story today, man. Unfortunate story. You know what I mean? I hate to report this kind of stuff, man, but I got to, for the simple fact that we got to try to reach the youth, you know what I'm saying? Reach the kids and talk to the kids and help them understand, you know what I'm saying, what kind of world that we living in these days, you know what I'm saying? Today we talking about Houston, man, Houston, Texas. We had a little boy, man, a little 11-year-old boy, man, who just unfortunately happened to be playing Ding Dong Ditch. Um, and for those who don't know what Ding Dong Ditch is, it's the little game you play when you kids, man, where you ring the doorbell, knock on the door, and take off running. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately for this young man, once he took off running, the owner of the crib or the person who lived there, you know what I'm saying, some 40-year-old, creep, jerk, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to be a jerk to shoot an 11-year-old, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, he stepped in the street, you know what I mean? Stepped out of his driveway into the street and shot the little boy in the back, you know what I mean? It's just unfortunate, man. He died from his wounds. And first and foremost, I want to send my condolences to his mother and father, man, his family, his entire family. I can only imagine what his mother is going through. No mother deserves to bury her child. It's supposed to be the other way around. You know what I'm saying? And I know death is a part of life, but at 11 years old, and let's not take away from the fact that this kid was ding dong ditching, man, at dark, in a Houston neighborhood. And at some point we got to have some accountability as parents. You cannot allow this to happen. The little boy shouldn't have been out there at dark at 11, or whatever time it was, dark, and playing ding dong ditch. Period, point blank. He's 11 years old. I understand that kids are going to be kids, and that's something that we have to. It's a slippery slope there because yes, kids are going to be kids, but this is the world that we live in nowadays. And the world we live in, it's like you have to kind of find some kind of balance to be, because you don't want to be too strict on your kids. You don't want to be too in their business. You don't want to smother them. But at the same time, you know, I'm pretty sure his mother was wishing right now that she would have been more strict or would have been telling him to come inside. Because in my opinion, it's no way that an 11-year-old boy needs to be outside playing with his friends after dark. You know what I'm saying? He's 11. You know what I mean? He's still a kid. And a lot of, and not to get off topic, but a lot of parents have become accustomed to being their kids' friends and just allowing more freedom than normal. You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, when I was a kid at 11 years old, I wouldn't be outside after dark. My mama wasn't having it. As soon as the street lights come on and it start getting dark, you got to get your ass inside. And especially you're not gonna be outside playing ding dong ditch. So let's have some accountability there on that aspect. But by no means should this grown ass man have shot the little boy in the back. You know what I'm saying? You can see that it's a small boy. You know what I mean? So I feel like, the murder charge that they charged him with is the correct charge, because it's like, come on, you shot the little boy in the back. It took a few days for him to get the charges to him, because at first the little boy's cousin who was with him, he was confused about what he saw. He was shaken up, probably couldn't, identify, the right person, even though, what I'm saying, it's obvious what's going on, but they still had to go through the proper channels, to make sure that they were IDing the right person, and they end up putting the murder charges on them. I got a few clips. Let's check them out. Once again, I want to send condolences to the little boy's family. His name is Julian. Rest in peace to Julian, man. He looked like a sweet little boy, and I just hate for that to happen to a kid. I hate for anything crazy to happen to a kid, because they don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Even though he was, doing the wrong thing by playing ding dong ditch, that's just not something that you do nowadays, because everybody got guns, man. Everybody's so gun ho. Everybody's so trigger happy. You don't even even when I used to do a little side hustle like delivering for Amazon, I used to be kind of nervous, delivering to these people's houses, man, and make sure I got that shiny vest on, and make sure that they, can see what's going on, because you don't want a misunderstanding to turn deadly. You know what I'm saying? And this is a situation to where, kids are gonna be kids playing on the door. It's happened to me before. I had some teenagers playing on my door like 2, 3 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't go outside shooting. You know what I'm saying? I checked my cameras first just to make sure what it was. And my cameras, they show video and audio. You know what I'm saying? So I could hear that they were just playing, just kids dicking around. You know what I'm saying? I was mad about it, but I understand from the homeowner's aspect. You thinking that something may have been stolen. You don't know. And nowadays it's hard to tell who's accustomed to, who's more accustomed to violence and theft and things of that nature, because 12, 13 years old, they got guns now. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to differentiate. You know what I'm saying? I got my words tied up right there, but it's hard to differentiate. You know what I'm saying? Who's who and what's what. So I understand his frustration of the situation, but you had to leave your house. You had to go outside. You had to step in the street to shoot the boy in the back. You know what I mean? He didn't pose an immediate threat. He didn't take nothing of yours. He just rung your doorbell and ran off. You know what I'm saying? So you had no reason to murder that man, murder that child, and that's murder. You know what I'm saying? But let's check out a few clips, man, and we gonna, break it down, and let's look at it. So let's dive right into it.
Well, Houston police arrested the man accused of killing an 11-year-old boy over a ding-dong ditch prank. This morning, the suspect faced a judge for the first time since being charged with murder.
Gonzalo Leon.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're accused of the first-degree felony offense of murder.
The judge set no bond for 42-year-old Gonzalo Leon Jr. Houston police say over the Labor Day weekend, Leon shot and killed 11-year-old Julian Guzman. Julian was playing ding-dong ditch with friends on Saturday night, just a block away from where his family lives. A witness told police the suspect ran out of the house with a gun and opened fire as the kids ran away after ringing the suspect's doorbell. The witness says they heard 2 to 3 gunshots. Officers responded to Membro Street just before 11 p.m. and found Julian shot in the back. Investigators say the boy was hit multiple times, was rushed to the hospital, and died Sunday afternoon. Detectives conducted an investigation and identified Leon as a suspect. At this time, police are working closely with the Harris County District Attorney's Office on this case. Right now, Leon is in custody, charged with murder, and is in the Harris County Jail, held without bond. He is expected back in court on Wednesday. I'm Jillian Hartman, Fox 26 News.
Man, that's so sad, man. So unfortunate. Multiple gunshots, you know what I'm saying, in the back, 11-year-old kid, you know what I mean? Just because you being, silly, obnoxious, being kids, playing, you know what I'm saying? And that's just unfortunate, man. And let this be a lesson to the parents and to the young people in the world, man. It's just not worth it. This is not the same world that, you know, we once grew up in. So you got to raise your kids accordingly. You have to understand that we are living in a crazy ass world, man, and you got to protect your kids at all costs. And if that means them missing out on a little bit of what they think is fun, then hey, man, they just got to miss out on it, because I would rather, you know, be tough on my kid than to have to bury my kid. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that this little boy Julian was doing anything, you know, worth dying for, man. I'm not saying that. I definitely feel for the situation, but it's like we gotta have some kind of accountability of the situation, because if the little boy was at home in the comfort of his own home, in his room, playing the video game or getting ready for bed for school the next day, then this wouldn't have happened. You understand? And why he was outside playing with his cousin at nighttime, I don't know. But, you know, you would think kids are supposed to be able to play in the neighborhood, and the community is supposed to protect the children. You would think that, but we live in a crazy ass world. This is 2025. We live in a world where everybody has guns. It's okay to have guns. We got another clip where I believe they said they found all different type of AR weapons in his house, man. So this dude was one of these people who feel empowered when they get these guns in their possession, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why we need to do deeper background checks and deeper mental stability checks for these people who are allowed to have weapons, man, because as you see, a lot of people got weapons that don't necessarily need to have them. Because if you're a weapon holder, you should know that you never fire your weapon unless you are in immediate danger. And he was in no immediate danger here, man. Those are kids, you know what I'm saying? Literally. 11-year-old kid can't be no taller than 4 foot. You know what I'm saying? And he was a little Hispanic kid, and I'm not being racist or nothing like that, but those are more of smaller people. I'm pretty sure he's a little kid. He's 11, man. Come on now. I know he didn't feel no immediate threat or nothing posed that was harming his life for him to feel like he had to fire deadly rounds after they had ran off and probably halfway up the block. You know what I'm saying? So he's screwed on that situation, and you know he got to face God for that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna judge that man because, you know, like I say, from a homeowner standpoint, from a person protecting a household, I understand, you know, what he could have thought or what could have been going through his mind. But in those situations, you got to understand that you got to assess the whole situation. And once you've seen that the subject was some little kids, you got to just wave that off, man, or at least go talk to their parents if you got a real issue, if you feel that it was that much of a problem. You know, because all they did was ring your doorbell. They didn't throw rocks through your window or, you know, try to break in your car or anything like that. This 11-year-old kid, man, and he didn't deserve this, man. So my condolences to Julian's family, and I pray for his family, his mother and father, man, because that's just something that I don't think no parent should ever have to do, is bury a child. You know what I mean? So let's check out this next clip.
On Saturday, August 30th, 2025, 11-year-old Julian Guzman was outside playing Ding Dong Ditch with his friends in his Houston, Texas neighborhood. That is until this man right here, 42-year-old Leon Gonzalo Jr., opened fire and took his life. A neighbor in the area said that they heard fired. They opened their door, and that is when they saw this suspect right here opening fire at the children who were running away down the street. Reports indicate that Julian suffered a GSW to his back. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition and ended up passing away from his injury on Sunday, August 31st. Leon Gonzalo Jr. appeared in court this morning, where he was formally charged with 1 count of MURDER and was booked into jail. Julian's family say that they are vowing to fight for justice. They say that Julian was just a child. He didn't hurt anyone. He was affectionate, loving, and he was always smiling. His mom added on, "I will forever love you, my boy. You're gone, but never forgotten." If convicted, Leon Gonzalo Jr. could be facing life in prison without the possibility of parole. And as far as what we know right now, the prosecution could even seek the DP when it comes to this man on the screen. They are saying that this man did not act in self-defense. The children were nowhere near him, and he obviously took things way too far, and he did not need to do this. What are you guys thinking? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. My thoughts and prayers are with Julian's friends and family at this time.
So that's just another, outlook on the situation. And from what I hear, man, dude could definitely be getting the DP situation for this, the death penalty. Hey, I wouldn't be mad, because it's like, hey, man, once you understood that, and I'm sure you knew that they were young people, man, because kids have a different build than adults. So it's no way that you can confuse a kid with an adult, especially in size. You know what I'm saying? 11-year-old versus an adult, it just doesn't add up. And for them just to ring your doorbell, like I said, they didn't damage your property. They didn't steal anything. They wasn't trying to break in, or, your car alarm wasn't going off. So it was nothing that was posing a threat to your home or to your, they were just simply ringing the doorbell, man. So my condolences to the little boy and his family, man. I'm sorry this happened to your young brother, man. I just don't understand it. But like I said, we have to do better at watching our children, making sure the children are where they're supposed to be, especially in that time, in that kind of time frame. Like at nighttime when the sun is down and the street lights are on, have the kids in the house, man. If they want to play, let them play in the backyard. Running around the neighborhood is just not something that needs to be done at nighttime by an 11-year-old. That's just period, point blank. And we got one more clip that we're going to check out, man, so let's dive right into it.
Murder charge 3 days after a doorbell prank led to the shooting death of an 11-year-old.
Yes, now the investigation phase has moved to the judicial phase.
Sir, you're accused of the first-degree felony offense of murder.
Gonzalo Leon Jr. making his first court appearance today,
as a small memorial in honor of Julian Guzman sits in the neighborhood. ABC 13's Maya Shea joining us now live from Mimbro Street. That's on Houston's east side.
And Maya, people across the country are watching what happens in this particular case.
That's right, and really, they can't believe what actually happened, and literally happened right behind me. Investigators say Gonzalo Leon lives in the house behind me, and on Saturday night, the 11-year-old little boy and his cousin were just running around the neighborhood playing the ding-dong ditch game. Investigators say the boys came to this house, rang the doorbell multiple times, and then ran off. They also say that's when Leon allegedly walked out of the house onto a public street, aimed, and fired.
Come out with your hands up.
Saturday night, our cameras were there when Gonzalo Leon was handcuffed and detained for questioning. Police believed he was the person who walked out of his home onto the street and shot 11-year-old Julian Guzman, as Guzman and a cousin were playing the ding-dong ditch game. But as District Attorney Sean Tier reveals, Leon could not be charged that night for several reasons, including the fact that the eyewitness could not identify him.
One of the initial issues was that we had a negative ID. But again, that's explained in any case where you have a traumatic event like this, and you're asking, in this case, a young man who just watched his cousin get brutally shot down, to look at 6 pictures and identify somebody.
Court records show after Guzman died at the hospital, Houston police homicide detectives took over the investigation and for the next 2 days gathered additional evidence, including finding several AR-15 type guns inside the Leon's home. And by Tuesday morning, he was in jail, charged with murder.
Sir, you're accused of the first-degree felony offense of murder.
The medical examiner also stating in court records that Guzman was shot in the back. Tier says the probable cause was there.
There were no weapons displayed. There was no theft of any property. The young man was shot again in the back on a public street. It's a murder.
Now, a small memorial is marking the spot where Guzman collapsed. His mother's words on the cross, "I love you, Julian. You will always be in my heart." It just steps away from the suspect's home and around the corner from Guzman's grandparents' house, where the cousins began Saturday night at a happy family birthday party. And now, a tragedy for the entire community.
As far as us as residents in this area, it's heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah, so tragic. And we should note that Leon is scheduled to go in front of a district court judge tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. where his bond will be set. And prosecutors have said they are asking for $1 million. Reporting from the east side, Maya Shea.
Man, truly a sad event. I mean, it just breaks my heart, man, that the little fella had to go through this. You know what I'm saying? But let this be a lesson to the kids out there. Please don't do that ding dong ditch shit. Please, man. Y'all don't even know. You know, y'all didn't even. That wasn't even y'all's type of get up. You know, as kids nowadays, y'all don't know nothing about that. Leave that. Leave that where it's at in the past, please. Because knocking on somebody's door, just stepping on somebody's property, man, can get you hurt. You just never know what that person is in there thinking or what type of person is in that house. You just don't want to even find out how bad it could end up. You know what I'm saying? And from the looks of it, it seems that this dude was kind of itching to kill somebody. He had AR-15s. It could have been anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, listen, kids, please don't play that ding dong ditch shit. Let this be a lesson. You know, I hate it had to be a kid that is helping us learn this valuable lesson. But let's learn a lesson from this, and let's please not go out like that, because this is senseless, and it just didn't have to happen, but it happened. You understand? And it only happened because, you know, a kid chose to play and ring the doorbell, which is innocent. Total innocent, but you see how it could be taken by somebody who's got a house full of guns and is just itching for some action. You understand what I'm saying? Those guns make these people feel empowered. They make these people, you know, have different feelings that they wouldn't have if they didn't have the gun. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be aware and be mindful of those type of people. You understand? Because not everybody who has a weapon or owns a weapon is suitable to have and own that weapon, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody is playing with a full deck of cards. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like the lights is on, but not everybody's home. You dig what I'm saying? And let's just let this be a lesson to the kids, man. I love you kids. I love all kids. I love everybody, man. And I just want to see everybody happy and successful and thriving and healthy and you know, in the best form of themselves. You dig what I'm saying? And I hate bone in my body, and I wish the best for everybody. And that's genuinely from the heart. You understand what I'm saying? And that's all I got for y'all today, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to the supporters, the people who pull up, the people who comment, the people who hit that like button. And I'm going to need y'all to start hitting that like button a little more, man. But I love y'all anyway. I appreciate it. Any support is plenty. You dig what I'm saying? And we going to keep moving. We ain't going to let nothing stop us. You dig what I'm saying? So until next time, it's your boy R2. Peace, love, one.